Hello, I'm going to show you how to add entries to the news section of the website. The news section is very simple. The home page of the section lists the most recent news entries in reverse chronological order. So the most recent news entry appears at the top of the list. And it shows the most recent, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 entries. And after that, all entries are available in the news archive. So there's never a reason to delete a news entry. Older entries just appear in the archive. So let's add a news entry by going to Expression Engine, and in the structure section we just go down to News and use the Add and Edit buttons, and to create a new entry we just click on Add. It will open a new news entry form for news. So the first thing we have to do is decide whether or not our news entry can be categorized. So we click on the Categories tab here, and you'll see that there are various categories to which news entries can be assigned. They can be assigned by news and event categories, so themes if you like. So we have things like clergy development, congregational development. Or they can be assigned to a particular charge. So let's say that this news entry relates to young people and also to Aberdare St Columba. So we select both of those categories. But once we've categorized our news entry, we click the Publish tab, we enter the title here, and while I was typing that, you'll notice that the URL title field was entered automatically. The URL title is the last part of the address of that this particular news entry will have when it's viewed on the web. It's the last part of its URL, its website address. You can make this whatever you like, but by default the system just makes it a lowercase version of the title, and it puts hyphens in between the words, because web addresses should never have spaces. They should always have a character. Okay, so once you've entered the title, you can specify whether or not the news entry has an image. And there are two types of images we can add. We can have a landscape-oriented image which spans the full length of the news entry. So for example, if we look at this one isn't a great example because it's not spanning the complete width. So let's have a look at one that does. This one, for example. Here's a news entry with a landscape-oriented image which spans the full width. We can also have portrait-orientated images, which are smaller images which will sit to the right-hand side of the text of the news entry. So let me show you how that's done. So we click on the plus icon here to select an image. So here's ones that have already been uploaded to the system. Let's add a new one though. So we can add a brand new image by going to Upload File. This opens the File Upload window. Click Choose File, and we can then navigate to the image on our computer that we wish to upload. And And once we've selected it, we just click Upload File. It takes a moment to upload it and then comes up with this confirmation message. Then we just click Use Uploaded File. Now you can see that the thumbnail version of the image has appeared here, and we can give the image a caption. And let's add one or two portrait-oriented images. You can add, it says you can enter up to 3 portrait-oriented images. So let's just, in this case, use some of the images, one or two of the images that have already been uploaded to the system. So we click on the plus button, add image, and let's just choose 2 or 3 of these. And you see we just keep clicking this plus button to add a row. And that's the limit. The plus button is now greyed out. So we can add captions for these images. I'll just copy and paste this. And that's it. So we have a landscape-oriented image and we have 3 portrait-oriented images. Now we just need to add our text. So we have 2 text fields, summary, and this refers to the little snippet of text, paragraph of text which will appear on the news landing page. And this is just a little bit of text which gives the user a little bit more information about what this particular news entry is about. So let's just, for the purpose of demonstration, use some lorem ipsum. And I just paste it in here. The full entry. This is the full text of the news entry. So for example here, that's not a good example. Here is the full text of this particular news entry. You see on the news landing page, we just have the summary. So let's again take some lorem ipsum and just put it in here. And we'll just format that a bit. Now we could embellish this text with the formatting options here if we wish, by adding links and bold and italics if we want. But in this case, and I think you'll find it in most cases, we'll just leave it plain text. Okay, now we just click submit and it comes back with a little page telling us that the entry has been submitted. And if we go onto the website and refresh the news landing page, we'll now see our new news entry with the title that we gave it. It has today's date by default. This is the date on which I entered the news entry. Here's our summary text. Click through, and here's the news entry with the landscape image, the 3 portrait images, and the full text of the news entry. Now on the news landing page, I've set it up so that it will only show the landscape-oriented image, just because that fits within the design. You have to click through to see the portrait-oriented images. One final thing to mention is that we have, you'll see that here are our categories. So if I click on one of these categories, I'll go through to the News by Category page, which will show all of the entries with this particular category. So we assigned it to the Young People category and to the Aberdour category. Just taking a moment to load that. So here's the Aberdour category. And the church categories are interesting because if we go through to our church directory, click on Aberdour St Columba, you'll see that on the right hand side of the screen here we have the latest news box, which shows all news entries relating to Aberdour St Columba, namely all news entries, which have been assigned to the Aberdour category. So if you want your news entries to appear on the church directory page for a particular church, then you need to assign that news entry to the relevant category. Okay, I hope that makes sense.